I never imagined my love story would turn into a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. My name is Elena, and for 3 beautiful years, Daniel was my everything. He was the man who made me believe in forever, the one who held me through tough days, planned weekend getaways, and whispered promises that felt like they would last a lifetime. We built a cozy apartment together, filled with memories, late-night talks, shared laughs, and photos of us smiling like nothing could ever break us. But looking back now, the signs were there, whispering warnings I chose to ignore. The way his phone would light up at odd hours, the sudden work emergencies that kept him out late, and the distance that grew between us even when we were in the same room. I told myself it was stress from his job. I convinced myself that the man who once looked at me with so much love couldn't possibly be hiding something so painful. That Friday evening changed everything. I was supposed to be at my sister's, but plans fell through. Instead, I decided to surprise him with his favorite Thai food and the dress he always complimented. My heart felt light as I turned the key to our apartment, imagining his smile when he saw me. The moment the door opened, the air felt thick. I heard her laughter first, soft, playful, the kind that didn't belong in our home. Then his voice, low and intimate, the tone he used to save only for me. My feet froze in the hallway. Time slowed as I peeked around the corner. There they were, on the couch we had picked out together during one of our happiest weekends. Her legs draped over his hand resting on her thigh like it was the most natural thing in the world. My stomach twisted. The takeout bag slipped from my fingers, but I caught it before it hit the floor. I didn't scream. I didn't confront them. I just backed away silently, closed the door with a quiet click, and walked down the stairs feeling like a stranger in my own life. That night, I sat in my car as rain hammered the windshield, tears streaming down my face. How long had this been going on? Weeks, months? Every I love you suddenly felt like a knife. Every memory we shared turned sour in my mind. The pain was so deep, it felt like my chest had been cracked open. I drove around for hours, lost in a fog of betrayal and disbelief. The days that followed were a blur of heartbreak. I barely slept, replaying every moment, searching for clues I had missed. Daniel came home acting normal, kissing my forehead like nothing had changed. Part of me wanted to scream the truth at him, but another part, the broken part, was too scared to face it. I felt shattered, like the woman I knew myself to be had been erased. I started noticing more. The deleted messages, the new cologne he wore, the way he guarded his phone like it held state secrets. One night, while he was in the shower, I looked through his laptop. What I found destroyed me. Messages full of affection, plans for secret meetups, even photos that made my heart sink. He had been seeing her for months, all while telling me I was his world. The betrayal cut so deep I could hardly breathe. I cried in the shower so he wouldn't hear. I smiled through dinners with friends, pretending everything was fine. Inside, I was falling apart. The anger came in waves, hot, overwhelming anger mixed with sadness that made me question my worth. Was I not enough? Did I miss the signs because I loved too blindly? But slowly, something inside me began to shift. The tears dried up, replaced by a quiet resolve. I refused to be the woman who stayed silent and suffered alone. I started gathering proof, screenshots, emails, receipts from hotels I never knew about. I documented it all, my hands shaking at first, then growing steady with purpose. Friends noticed I was distant, but I held my story close until I was ready. The humiliation burned, but it also fueled me. Daniel thought he could play both sides and keep his perfect image intact. He had no idea I was no longer the trusting girl he once knew. Until everything changed. I decided I wouldn't let his betrayal define me. The pain was real, but it wouldn't keep me small. I channeled it into strength, planning carefully, waiting for the right moment. My heart still ached, but a new fire burned in its place, the kind that turns brokenness into power. I didn't choose loud or messy revenge. I chose something that would hit where it hurt most, his precious image. Daniel loved being seen as the perfect boyfriend, the rising star at work, the guy everyone envied. So I planned a surprise anniversary party at our favorite rooftop venue. I told him it would celebrate our 3 years. He was thrilled, his ego shining bright as he agreed to let me handle everything. The night arrived, and the rooftop looked magical under string lights, with flowers everywhere and soft music playing. Friends, family, his colleagues, and even his boss showed up. Daniel walked in with that confident grin, arm around me, soaking up the admiration. I let the evening build, watching him laugh and toast to us. Then, after the cake was served, I stepped to the microphone. My voice was calm, though my heart raced. "Daniel," I said, looking straight at him, "tonight I want to give you a gift you truly deserve. The truth." The room quieted. I started the slideshow. Not our happy photos, but the evidence, messages, receipts, proof of every lie. Gasps filled the air. His mother covered her mouth in shock. His boss stared in disbelief. Friends who had defended him looked stunned. Daniel's face went white. He tried to stop me, but I continued. "And the woman you've been seeing? She's here tonight too." I pointed, and all eyes turned to her. The silence broke into whispers and awkward movements. "You shattered my trust," I said clearly, my voice steady with emotion. "You took 3 years and treated them like nothing. Tonight, I'm taking back my dignity and exposing the truth in front of everyone who believed in us." The consequences were immediate. People left early. His boss pulled him aside for a serious talk. His parents looked heartbroken. Later, messages poured in from friends who couldn't believe what he had done. Daniel called and texted for days, begging and apologizing. But I had already blocked him. I moved out the following week. I changed my number, started therapy, and slowly rebuilt my life with people who truly valued me. The revenge wasn't about destroying him completely. It was about refusing to carry his secrets any longer. It was about choosing myself after being broken. To every woman who has felt this pain, your heartbreak is valid, but it doesn't have to define your ending. Let it transform you. Sometimes the most powerful response is quiet strength, speaking your truth, and walking away with your head high. I've found peace now. Not because he changed, but because I did. I rose above the betrayal, and in doing so, I shocked everyone, or including myself, with how strong I could become. If you've ever been betrayed, know that you are not alone. Drop a below and share your thoughts. Thank you for listening to my story. Like, subscribe, and remember, protect your heart, but never lose your power.